How's it going, everybody? Adrian Simple here from the Gaming Observer, and this is your daily gaming update for March 12th, 2019. Head over to thegamingobserver.com for links and a transcript of today's report. Today was a super slow news day, so I'm going to do a single news item and then move on to something a little different that I haven't done on this show before. I hope you enjoy. Last week, it was revealed that 13 employees had been let go from Valve. At the time, all we knew was that there were some losses in VR and hardware departments, but we are now aware that Richard Garfield and his contracting company 3 Donkeys were also a part of that release. For those of you who don't happen to know, Richard Garfield is the designer of Magic the Gathering, as well as the most recent Valve game Artifact, which had one of the biggest flops in recent history. This is what Garfield had to say about it, quote, "We weren't surprised by the layoff, considering how rocky the launch was. The layoff makes sense for a number of reasons. To name a couple, now that the game is out there, time is more critical, so more voices within the team that you have to navigate may not be as good as making less considered decisions faster. Another, the expertise that 3 Donkeys brought is less critical after listening to us for 4+ years," end quote. So while this didn't seem like there was any hostility with the split, I'm not so sure that it bodes well for the future of the game, which they claim to still want to support, citing multiple times that they were in it for the long haul. Of course, we'll see how this plays out over the next few months. Alright, since there isn't so much news to talk about today, I thought I would do something fun and try out a segment, which I will call This Day in Gaming History. This isn't a segment I will ever plan on doing. I think it's just gonna come around on the days that I want to give you something, but there just isn't any news that you will likely find valuable. So I'm actually going to do the day that I record this briefing, March 11th, instead of March 12th when you're probably listening to it, because it's a far more interesting day. So anyway, on this day in gaming history, the following occurred. In 1995, Chrono Trigger released for the first time in Japan on the Super Nintendo. I'm sure I'll make many of you feel old when I say that this happened 3 years before I was born. Then, 15 years ago, in 2004, the first Monster Hunter released on the PlayStation 2. 2014 had a pretty huge March 11th with the simultaneous release of Dark Souls 2, Hearthstone, and Titanfall. What a day that must have been, eh? And then after that, we have Ori and the Blind Forest in 2015 and Hitman in 2016. You know, I would have loved to have had like an interesting story that would have maybe been published on March 11th, but unfortunately no archive exists of that sort of thing other than game releases. So who knows, maybe I can be that archive one day, and you know, hopefully this is something that was at least somewhat interesting to you, and apologies if it wasn't, I am still trying new things for this show. That's all for today. If you'd like to support what I'm doing here, please feel free to leave me a review on Amazon, it would mean a lot to me. You can also find me on Twitter at gaming_observer, or send me an email, info@thegamingobserver.com. As always, this update was produced in part by Brandon, who funds the show through Patreon. Thank you very much, have a beautiful day. And happy gaming, everyone.